I don't know.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, my name is Shayna. If you are new here to the channel, please subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more videos upcoming on my channel. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell as well to stay notified when I upload each and every week. If you guys like this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. It's much appreciated, and I will see you guys in my next video. I love you guys so much. Bye guys. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time and just explaining to you guys about how I lost my V card. So this is really juicy, you guys. I was debating whether or not if I wanted to share this about myself or not, but it's so many years ago now that I'm about to be 25 this month. If you didn't know, my birthday is March 29th. So yes, I am about to be 25 at the end of this month, but it was just so many years ago, and I feel like I don't mind sharing now. I have nothing to be ashamed of, so let's get into today's story time. So the story starts when I was a freshman in high school, and this guy, we're gonna name him John for all intents purposes. John was a senior when I was a freshman, so he was a few years older than me. So me and John were a few years apart. He was a few years older than me. I had met him when I was a freshman, and basically we would see each other occasionally and always say hi. Like, we would always just both be late to that class. Like, I was late to social studies. I'm not sure what class he was late to, but basically we were always late to our class, and I would just be walking because my school was really huge. My high school, it was about 3 floors, and so if you were all the way upstairs, I had to get all the way down to the first floor. It was a lot of walking down those steps because we had an elevator, but it was locked and you had to have the key in order to use it. So they really only used it for people who had like wheelchairs, or if you had like crutches or something and really needed help getting back and forth to classes. So essentially, like, we were always running late together to class, and I would always just be like, hey John, and he would just be like, hey Shayna. Like, it was nothing ever serious or romantic. It was always very casual when we would see each other in these hallways. And essentially, I had met him again after when I was a junior. He was in college, I believe, at this time, but he was home on break for Christmas break, and I was on my Christmas break too. And I had just happened to be out with one of my close friends at the time. It was her, the guy she was speaking to, and just me. And we were all just hanging out, and we were gonna go to hang out at John's house with a few of his friends. And I was like, okay, like, I'm down. She asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, I'm always ready for a good time. And at that time in my life, being 16, I was in my rebellious phase, you could say, and I didn't really want to be home for break. I essentially was just leaving without even saying anything to my mom. Like, I was just like, I'm out, see you later. And I just was on my way. And so she picked me up, and we were just on our way to his house, and come to find out, he actually only lived like 5 to 10 minutes from me. So I was like, oh, okay, like, John lives really close, that's cool. We did get some spirits that night, like these little mixed cocktails or whatever in the can, like, you know, the little cheap stuff you buy at the liquor store. So basically, everyone had their own, and we were just chilling, laughing, everybody's kicking it, whatever. And me and my friend were enjoying herself. Her and the guy she was with, he was chill. Like, no one was doing anything. We were just all relaxing, just chilling on the couch, like, laughing and stuff like that. And then after that night, like, the next morning, her friend came to pick me and her up. And funny thing, like, comes to find out that my close friend, her friend that picked us up, she actually had knew John, basically. And I guess they messed around or dated. I don't know if they hooked up. I'm not sure what it was, their relations to each other. But they were definitely talking outside of the car when we were, like, sitting in there just waiting to basically go home at that point, because it was super early in the morning. It was like 8 or 9 in the morning. We were both exhausted. And I wasn't hungover or anything like that, but I was just tired and out of it and wanted to go home, like, take a shower and all that stuff, because we had been out till really late, like, hanging out at his house basically, and fell asleep there. So basically, once we got to my close friend's, her close friend's house, basically, when we got to Cindy's house, for all intents and purposes, again, when we got to Cindy's house, basically, we had breakfast and we were just kicking it in her room and stuff like that. And then Cindy was like, oh, Shayna, John would like your number. And I was like, okay, like, that's cool, like, he seems like chill or whatever. And I wasn't thinking anything of it. So we exchanged numbers, and she gave me his number, and I just texted him from there to just be like, hey John, it's Shayna, and we would just talk here and there from that day on. We would just speak occasionally, like texting here and there, and we would just talk about like regular stuff. Like he was really into fashion and I wanted to go to school for fashion when I graduated high school, so we just talked about like fashion trends and fashion school. And like he had tattoos, so I asked him like, you know, oh, like what do your tattoos represent and stuff like that, because I found it so intriguing at that age, being 16, that everything was so interesting. And like, oh, he's an older guy, and like, you know, just so diluted and like so phased by that factor. But that's because I was 16, so it's like, you know, I was like this naive, gullible young girl who didn't know any better, essentially. And eventually we started kicking it. We started going to parties together. I started hanging out with his friends. Like he would just always have me around at his house, in his room. Like we would just be hanging out casually. We never kissed or anything like that for like the longest period of time. And then eventually, like, you know, we kind of knew it was kind of, but we liked each other essentially, and things were not getting serious or anything like that. It was very casual. Like we never said it was a relationship or it was something serious. There was really like no title, essentially, is what it was between us. So then me and John one night, we were supposed to go to a party, and we were in a car with his friends and stuff like that. We ended up, the party fell through or something like that. So one of his friends ended up getting a hotel room basically, but it was like a loft style hotel. So there was multiple levels, there was multiple rooms. So everybody had a place to sleep that night. And, you know, his friend, I guess, didn't want to drive because we did have some stuff to drink, like vodka and stuff like that. And so, you know, John's friend obviously didn't want to drive intoxicated, so we all just kicked it there at the hotel for the night. And mind you, it's like you walk in, it's like a whole living room with like a bathroom and a kitchen and all this stuff. Then you go upstairs to the second floor, and it's like 4 beds or like 3 beds. It's like 2 twin size beds in one room. We were in that room kicking it in there. And then the other room, when you walk out of that room, there was like a big bathroom, there was mirrors, there was like 2 other beds basically. And so his friends were just kicking it because one of his friends that was one of John's friends was there. Like one of them had brought someone he was talking to, and the other one, I think he brought his girlfriend. So we were all just hanging out. Like no one was doing anything. The doors were open. Like everyone was just chatting, talking, drinking, like just doing chill stuff, since we still wanted to have a good night, but we weren't able to go to the party. So basically, John were just talking in the room, and eventually, like, you know, it got late into the night. I'm not sure what time it was. It was very early in the morning. I just know that because I know my mom had called me, like worried about me, and one of his drunk friends had answered the phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, like don't do that. And completely had my mom thinking like I wasn't even in the state I was and everything else. It was just a hot mess that night. So at that point I was like, okay, just like take care of your friend, because he's way too drunk and I don't want to deal with that. I'm already probably in trouble for like leaving and being out all night and not coming home. So at that point I was like, whatever, took my phone back and stuff. Then me and John went back to kicking it, and we were just sitting on the bed, like relaxing, talking. This is so many years ago, so I could literally not even tell you what we were talking about. It was probably like BS, but yeah, me and John basically were talking. The night comes, he closes the door, like we just, you know, I'm just getting comfortable at this point. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna sleep in one bed, he's gonna sleep in another. But like low-key, I guess I wanted him to lay with me because, you know, we were like flirting with each other, we did like each other, but like I said, we weren't in a relationship or anything, so I didn't expect nothing out of it, essentially. And with me not expecting anything, obviously something happened, or we wouldn't be having this story time here. So basically, we were laying next to each other. Like I was under the covers, I was on one side, he was on one side, and I wasn't even turned over. I was just laying like this, the covers were on me, and I was just like looking up. There was like this window up above that just like you could see the stars and stuff, and the sky was so clear and pretty that night. So I was just like stargazing basically, and we were just talking for a long time. And then like basically one thing led to another, essentially. And yeah, that's how I lost my V card, essentially. And I feel like, you know, just for reference, like don't ever feel pressured to lose your V card just because your friends are doing it. I personally never really felt pressured. It was something that I personally chose to do because I felt safe with that person, I liked that person, and it was consensual. It was never forced on me or anything like that. And, you know, always just like make sure that person is wearing protection, or you're on birth control if you're going to be, you know, continuing to be with this person or whatnot, for your own safety. Sorry if this video was all over the place. You have to imagine this was like mad years ago when I was in high school. So I'm really just sitting here trying to piece by piece the memories because a lot of them are kind of like blurry, to be honest. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story time nonetheless. Make sure you guys please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. It's super appreciated for the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you guys comment down below if you have any experiences that are similar to the one I described today. And make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you guys stay notified when I upload each and every week. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.